I had a threatened miscarriage and rushed to the hospital to save the baby. I heard John Wilson say to the doctor, "Abort the child in Ivy Smith's womb directly." He paused and said, "As for Sophia Brown, make sure she gives birth smoothly. After all, it's the future heir of the Wilson family. Make sure Ivy doesn't find out about this. Plan her recovery carefully after the miscarriage." I was thunderstruck. Heartbroken. John Wilson had proposed to me that day by covering the entire street with roses and inviting a top superstar just to perform the song "Marry You." He had also arranged for 20,000 drones to light up the sky over Seacrest with my image to wish me a happy birthday. The man who kept saying he loved me was now trying to put to death the child I had worked so hard to conceive for the sake of another woman. I signed the divorce papers and started a world trip, parting ways with him for good. The rain was heavy. Distraught, wearing a hospital gown, I walked into the rain. Blood flowed down my thighs, but the cramping pain in my lower abdomen didn't compare to the pain in my heart. A doctor found me and screamed, "Help! Miss Ivy is in trouble." John hurried over, trembling as he held my hand. "Darling, we'll have another child later." I tried to see betrayal and cruelty in his eyes, but his pained expression showed no sign of it. I gently pulled my hand away. "No, there will never be another child of ours." He leaned in to kiss my cheek, but seeing the bright hickey on his neck, I felt instantly nauseous. When I turned away, he coaxed softly, "I made black chicken soup for you. Have some." The moment he opened the bag, he quickly closed it again. "It's a bit cold. I'll heat it up." Actually, I had already seen the character Brown pasted on it. After a few minutes, he came back, and I pretended to be asleep under the covers. He closed the door and whispered into the phone in the hallway, "Yes, I'll come be with you soon. Don't make a fuss." Once his footsteps faded, I struggled out of bed. In a nearby room, John was feeding Sophia soup. Her belly was big, about 7 or 8 months pregnant. This daughter, who had been recognized by the Brown family from the Smith family 10 years ago, had reappeared in Seacrest. Through the glass window, she saw me but turned away, pretending nothing was wrong while enjoying the service of someone else's husband. I opened the door. John's eyes flickered with panic. Then he quickly stood up to support me. "You just had a miscarriage. Why are you up? The 4 bottle is empty, and the nurse isn't here." "Sophia, it's been 10 years. You're going to be a mother. Where's your husband?" Sophia smiled at me. "Sister Ivy, I got pregnant before marriage. Don't laugh at me." I stared at the bowl of black chicken soup. John pushed me toward my room. "Sophia has no one to take care of her. I was just checking on her. Get back to bed." I didn't go far when John said he dropped his phone and went back. From Sophia's room came sobbing, "Sister Ivy will hate me forever." "John, because I love you. I've lost everything." John soothed. "You still have your dear husband. Shush. I don't want Ivy to suspect anything. I'll go back now." On the hospital glass door, my pale face was reflected. On the day I was discharged, I printed the divorce documents and started packing my belongings from the villa. When John came home, I was just confirming my travel plans and tickets with the airline. "Are you going somewhere?" he asked suspiciously. "Yes. To unwind," I replied flatly. "I've been busy lately." "Darling, I might not be able to accompany you. Here, take this. Buy whatever you need." He hugged me and handed me a black card. I broke free. He added, "Darling, Sophia has no family in Seacrest and is pregnant. Could she stay at our house for a while? She'll give birth in about 10 days. After all, she has a connection with you, Ivy Smith. You won't refuse, right?" My hands trembled slightly, waves of nausea churning in my heart. But I pretended to know nothing. "Oh, whatever. It didn't matter. I was flying away in 3 days anyway." John was delighted, humming a tune as he took off his tie and went to shower. While showering, he seemed to be talking to someone on the phone, taking a long time before emerging. Sophia Brown moved in that afternoon. To make it easier for the pregnant woman to move around, John Wilson decided to give her the master bedroom on the first floor that I loved most. He came upstairs to thank me, trying to hug me. Ivy, I knew you'd be the most generous. I love you so much. I sneered inwardly. Ugh. But out loud, I said, you're covered in dust from moving things. Better not get close. I asked him to help me bring down the big box from the top of the cabinet. Just as he grabbed the box, Sophia's scream echoed from downstairs. John dropped the box and rushed down. The box landed on my shoulder and then crushed my toe, tearing the skin open on my big toe. Bright red blood spreading across the carpet. Hiss. I bit my lip hard. Beads of sweat forming on my forehead. Limping downstairs to find medicine, I saw John putting a band-aid on Sophia. He applied it while saying, from now on, I'll handle the fruit cutting. Look. It's lucky you only nicked your nail. If it had been the flesh, you'd have bled. The man who once cherished me above all else now ignored my injury right before his eyes. All for another woman. Tears slid silently down my cheeks. In the dead of night, the pain from the wound woke me. Reaching over, John wasn't there. The quiet night amplified every sound. John, be gentler. The baby might see. Who told you to be so restless all afternoon? You little minx. It was Sophia's stifled gasps and John's forceful, dominating groans. The sound hitting my heart like a sledgehammer. I thought I'd been numb these past few days, but seeing it confirmed, my mind went blank for a moment. My whole body icy cold. Then I started trembling uncontrollably like a leaf in the wind. Tears streaming down. I covered my mouth to stifle my sobs, my chest heaving with suppressed cries. John, what if Ivy finds out? I'm always so scared. Then you need to be more careful. I told you I don't want my wife discovering our relationship. Humph. You're so mean. Treating me like this. I can give you everything but a title. Come on. Get on top. I'd give you my life. I couldn't bear to hear anymore. My heart wrenching in agony, covering my ears. I stumbled back to the bedroom. Only after shutting the door and burying myself under the covers did I let out a loud, wailing cry. When John went to work, I lit a fire in the yard. I took the big box and threw everything inside: photo albums, diaries, love letters. Gifts accumulated from dating to marriage into the flames. One by one, Sophia walked over, supporting her back. Ivy, don't do anything rash. John still loves you. I laughed coldly. How long have you two been together? She stroked her round belly. Ivy, you're so foolish. You really have to ask. 8 months. For those 8 months, I'd endured the agony of IVF, the frequent pain of egg retrieval, a 35-centimeter steel needle inserted into my lower body to extract eggs. Twice a month. As I sank into the painful memory, she babbled on. John's desires are so intense. Even like this. He always wants it. It must be because you couldn't satisfy him. Ivy. The firelight reflected Sophia's smug face. 20,000 drones for your birthday celebration, wow. What a spectacle. But you didn't know, did you? That day, John and I did it too. 5 times. How many times did he do it with you? Suddenly, my stomach churned, and I bent over, retching. On my birthday, I'd been moved to tears of joy. John holding me in his arms as we watched the sky full of drones, shining just for me. That day, I swore that no matter how bad my health got, I'd give him a child. But the truth about him leaving me in the middle of the night, claiming a company emergency, was that he went to a hotel with Sophia to make love. I vomited bitter bile. And Sophia laughed loudly as she went back to her room. Ivy was humming a tune and happily decorating the baby crib. In the evening, when John came back, he brought me a gift. It was a bracelet studded with diamonds. I casually tossed it aside and handed him the divorce agreement. He was stunned, and then his eyes welled up with tears. Honey, I know you're sad about losing the baby, I don't blame you at all. I'll never divorce you. Don't punish yourself like this. I was a bit speechless. Anyway, it's up to you whether to sign or not. I'm leaving it here. I had already decided to leave him. A piece of paper couldn't stop me. Just then, his phone kept receiving messages. He glanced at it. His pupils brightened, and his Adam's apple bobbed. Honey, don't be so moody. We'll have another chance to have a baby in the future. Just take a nap and you'll feel better. He waited restlessly for me to fall asleep, and then quietly slipped out of the room. He didn't know that as soon as he left, Sophia sent me a message. It was a photo of her in lingerie, gently touching the diamond-studded necklace on her chest. Look, this is the customized necklace John gave me. I heard what you got was just a freebie. She sent me a live stream, which was only visible to me. Let's make a bet. Who will John spend the night with tonight? I initially wanted to close it, but I still clicked on it. In the picture, John walked into her room. Sophia, stop being naughty. Sophia twirled her hair. But I can't help it. Both the baby and I miss you so much. Then she stood on tiptoe and hooked John's belt. John's eyes were full of desire. You're really a handful. Then he pounced on her. The picture was blocked by the lingerie that John had torn open, and only the moans of passion could be heard. I watched the live stream calmly. In the darkness, my heart was filled with hatred. Sophia, you're really crazy. I didn't sleep all night. In the morning, John, who never cooked, was actually bustling around in the kitchen. He was a bit surprised to see me up so early. Honey, I made breakfast. Do you want to have some? I looked at the pickled cucumbers and abalone porridge he was holding. It was clearly a pregnant woman's diet. When I shook my head, he quickly took it to Sophia's room. Honey, Sophia can't move around easily because of her belly. I'll just take it in and come right out. From her room came Sophia's coquettish laughter. How did you know the baby wants something sour? The voice was so loud that she seemed to want me to hear it. But I didn't care. John seemed to notice that I was acting a bit strange. Before going to work, he came to my room specifically. Honey, when you go on a trip, remember to bring me some souvenirs. Seeing that I didn't answer and just stared out of the window in a daze, he asked me what I was thinking. I said. Suddenly, I remembered our wedding night. John, do you still remember what you said to me that day? Oh, of course I remember. I said that I, John Wilson, would only love Ivy Smith in this lifetime. If I break this oath. I looked up at him, and he looked a bit nervous. I suddenly smiled. How could God make such a childish curse like being childless come true? Finally, I packed my luggage. As soon as John went out, I immediately grabbed my ID, dragged my suitcase, and opened the door to leave. Just then, Sophia, with her big belly, blocked me on the steps. Sister Ivy, once you leave, you're not coming back, are you? Well, it's for the best. If the Smith family hadn't caused so much trouble back then, I would have been living as the proper daughter of the Smith family. Once you're gone, everything will go back to how it should be. Right, Sister Ivy. I stared at her, finding her face extremely disgusting. A good dog doesn't block the way. Don't push me to slap you when I'm in the worst mood. Sister Ivy, it's a good thing those old geezers got hit by a car. Once you're gone, nothing will stop me from being with John anymore. I said I didn't care. But when she mentioned my parents, I felt my blood boiling. The sudden rush of anger made me involuntarily raise my hand and slap her. Sophia Brown curled the corner of her mouth into an imperceptible smile and fell backward down the steps. I knew she was pregnant, and I didn't hit her very hard. I rushed to pull her up in a hurry, but she shook off my hand. John Wilson didn't know how he happened to return in a hurry at this moment. He quickly stepped forward to try to hold her, but it was still too late. Sophia fell into his arms and started crying. John, Sister Ivy took advantage of you being out and tried to drive me away. She said I'm a shameless country bumpkin and told me to get out if I knew what was good for me. John. You clearly promised me before that Sister Ivy agreed to let me stay. I've only been staying here for a dozen days. Am I so unworthy of your kindness? I pressed my lips tightly together, choking with anger at her shamelessness. Just then, she let out a scream. Blood. I'm bleeding. John. It's her who pushed me. My baby is about to be born. If anything happens to the baby, I won't be able to live either. Sure enough, there was bright red blood mixed with amniotic fluid flowing out from between her legs. John's face turned pale. He looked up at me as if he wanted to devour me. He dialed the ambulance number. I tried to defend myself. John. It's not what she said. Slap. Before I could finish speaking, I received a stinging slap on my face. John hit me very hard. I staggered and my lower back hit the corner of the flower bed beside the steps. It hurt like hell. I saw you hit Sophia with my own eyes. Ivy. I never thought you could be so vicious to a pregnant woman in private. I'm so disappointed in you. This slap is for Sophia. Sophia was smiling triumphantly behind him. The ambulance roared up. John picked Sophia up in his arms and carried her into the ambulance without even looking back at me with red-rimmed eyes. John never hit women, let alone lay a finger on me. Once, when the cabinet door accidentally hit me, he held me in his arms and comforted me for a long time. After my parents died in a car accident, seeing me in pain, he stayed with me every night without leaving my side. Ivy is the apple of my eye. Any little bump or sadness of hers will make me hurt too. His words still echoed in my ears. Today, for another woman. He had completely changed. I dragged my suitcase and resolutely opened the door of the taxi. My waist was injured. The butler wiped his tears and helped me put the suitcase in the trunk. Madam, there's something I don't know if I should say. That's Sophia Brown. I noticed that she had spotting this morning when I was cleaning the room. Her situation wasn't caused by you. Madam, don't take it to heart. When Mr. Wilson comes back, I'll remind him not to hold a grudge against you. I stepped into the car and closed the door. No need. Don't tell Mr. Wilson a single word. Explanation shows that you care. But I don't care at all now. The car window went up, and the car roared towards the airport. Sophia gave birth to a baby boy smoothly in the hospital. John was very happy, and the sound of festive firecrackers echoed throughout the city. Taking this opportunity, Sophia forced John to sign the divorce agreement I had already signed. Sister Ivy, I'm here to give you good news. John really doesn't want you anymore. She still often sent me some provocative messages. After I gave birth, John didn't mind at all. He even helped me clean myself. Sister Ivy, you'll never have this kind of service. Today he said my figure is even more alluring after giving birth. I'm so worried he won't be able to control himself. And I'm still in the postpartum period. I didn't care at all and just treated them as jokes. In the years of my marriage to John, because of trying to conceive through in vitro fertilization, I hardly had a normal work in life. Now that I'm free, I plan to travel around the world. The different scenery and local customs in various places have healed me. Suddenly, I feel that those people and things that used to entangle me are as tiny as dust. They're not worth my entanglement or response. On the night when the divorce papers were signed, Sophia Brown carried the baby back to the Wilson family villa and seemed to be the new mistress of the Wilson family. John Wilson suddenly felt extremely down for no reason. He suddenly found that all the items belonging to me in the house were gone. It was as if there had never been any track of my existence. Then he thought that I had been traveling for half a month and hadn't returned to Haicheng. He got a bit panicked and rummaged through the big box on top of the cabinet. But the big box was empty. It was as if my existence had been just a dream. He called me, but my phone was always off. I've ignored her for so many days. She won't really be angry and leave, will she? But it was really wrong of her to hit Sophia. The divorce was just to punish her a little. After all, she's still mine, and we won't separate. He muttered to himself as if talking to himself while looking for my traces upstairs and downstairs. Sophia couldn't stand it anymore. Husband, come and comfort our son. He suddenly got very annoyed, remembering the look in my eyes when I asked for a divorce that day. He asked, "Did you say something to Ivy?" Sophia blinked her big eyes. "I swear to God, I've always listened to you, husband, and I haven't revealed a single thing to her." She was really an unruly person. As soon as the baby was 1 month old, she forced John to hold a wedding. "John, do you want the whole of Haicheng to think our son is an illegitimate child?" John thought. "If Ivy really cares about me, she'll come to me when she learns that I'm getting married to someone else. Right." However, during that time, I started recording what I saw and heard during my travels. After editing the works, I posted them online. Unexpectedly, the results were surprisingly good, and my fans grew rapidly. I also received a lot of jobs for travel photography. I was busy making friends and being a travel blogger. For a while, I completely forgot about those unpleasant memories in Haicheng. When I picked up that old dusty phone, I found a new message from Sophia. "Sister Ivy, I'm going to marry John. Do you want to watch the live stream of our wedding night? She's so disgusting. I don't know what John sees in her." At first, she was just an imposter who took someone else's place, because the hospital mixed up the tags. She luckily lived as the daughter of the Smith family for 10 years. She was so willful, selfish, and domineering that she gave my parents a hard time. Fortunately, my parents found me in the countryside and brought me back. Originally, my parents planned to keep her in the Smith family to be my sister, but when she was still young, she dared to put poison in my water cup. This made my parents so angry that they sent her back to her original family and signed an agreement not to allow her to return to Haicheng. But as soon as my parents died, she showed up beside John. She's really a scheming and vicious girl. However, I really had something to do in Haicheng. As a representative of overseas travel bloggers, I was going to attend a self-media conference. As soon as I walked into the building, a male blogger I was familiar with online suddenly said hello to me. I was stunned for a moment and exclaimed, "Wow! I didn't expect it was you. I'm actually seeing you in person." Michael Taylor, a big blogger with 90 million fans on Platform D, is famous all over the world and even overseas for his wonderful global adventure videos. A single video of his can attract global follow-up. To be honest, some of my early videos were influenced by him. I didn't expect to meet him here today. He smiled slightly. "Ivy, I'm also lucky to meet you in person." After saying that, we both couldn't help laughing, just as we were about to enter the venue. By some strange coincidence, I found that the conference and John and Sophia's wedding were in the same building. John suddenly popped up from somewhere and blocked my way. "Ivy, let's have a talk." He wore a custom-made wedding suit, his face devoid of joy but carrying a faint melancholy. "We're already divorced. There's nothing left to discuss. Besides," my eyes swept over him from head to toe. "As someone about to get married, aren't you worried your bride might get jealous? I have a meeting to attend. If there's nothing else, you go your way, and I'll go mine." With that, I walked toward the venue without looking back. John Wilson called out somewhat unwillingly behind me, "Ivy Smith, while Sophia and I haven't had our wedding yet, I hope there's still a chance for us." How ridiculous. Did he think I was someone he could summon and dismiss at will? Images flashed through my mind. That cold, rainy night when I lost the baby, all the things between him and Sophia Brown, and at the massive conference venue. I clenched my fists, forcing myself to resist the urge to hit him in public. Michael Taylor, noticing my expression, stopped and said gently, "Ms. Smith, if you need help, you can call on me." Warmth filled my heart as I thanked him politely. John watched Michael beside me, pulled out a cigarette, and stopped irritably at the venue entrance. I saw his figure disappear outside and planned to focus on the upcoming meeting. Just as I sat down, someone yanked my hair from behind the seat and pulled me up. Sophia Brown, in full bridal makeup, dragged me out of the venue viciously. Ivy Smith, you're shameless. John has already dumped you. Are you back here to disgust us on purpose? I should have had you killed in that crash back then. She tugged at my hair until Michael, in a panic, slapped her, making her let go. Oh. So you brought your pretty boy along. Ivy, you sure know how to play dirty. No. Killing you would be too merciful. I should have spread explicit photos of you and your pretty boy all over the internet to ruin your reputation. Ha ha ha. She kept spewing venomous filth. But I froze on her earlier words. I should have had you killed in that crash. I should have had you killed in that crash. With a bang. I felt my head was about to explode. My time in the countryside was tough. But the happiest years were when I returned to my birth parents. They gave me the purest love I'd ever known, even making up for the lost decade by re-celebrating all my birthdays from ages 1 to 10. Sadly, when I was 20, they died in a car accident on their way to visit me at school. At the crash site, they found a birthday cake mixed with blood. I always thought it was just an accident. But from Sophia's words, it was no simple coincidence. I rushed forward and grabbed her collar. Sophia Brown. You killed Mom and Dad, didn't you? Why? Sophia let out a shrill laugh, then adopted an innocent tone. Ivy, you need evidence for such claims. What nonsense are you spouting? John arrived just then. Frowning, he pulled Sophia away. Ivy Smith, you're out of line. Sophia whined. I kindly invited Ivy to our wedding, but she lashed out again. John, the first told you to forget her. She's nothing like the gentle, delicate woman you imagined. She batted her eyes in John's arms. Michael chuckled in disbelief. Ms. Smith, the conference is starting. Talking to people like this lowers your standards. With that, he guided my trembling, dazed self back into the venue. Tears streamed uncontrollably from my eyes. I'd find the evidence. But for now, I wouldn't let her off easy. I pulled out an old, rarely used phone from my bag and sent all the videos, messages, and photos of Sophia insulting me straight to John. What should have been the trending spot for the media conference got overshadowed by another headline. Big scoop. John Wilson slaps bride. Dirty secrets of the elite. Celebration turns to mourning. Demand for John's phone contents. Haching's most notorious mistress fails to climb the social ladder. I clicked on a viral video clip where Sophia held her bouquet, waiting for the groom to say I do. But John's phone buzzed. Messages popping up one after another. He pulled it out, glanced, and his brow furrowed darkly. When he looked up, he slapped Sophia across the face in front of photographers and media. Sharp crack that left her left cheek instantly red. Everything happened so fast that everyone on the scene stood there, stunned like statues. Fortunately, the MC remained calm in the face of the crisis and quickly asked someone to help John Wilson off the stage. The video switched to the audience, but it still recorded John's cold warning. I've told you not to talk nonsense about Ivy. The news was quickly spreading online, but I, the one who started it all, was ready to leave the venue in a hurry. Just as I walked out of the building, John grabbed me. Ivy, I'm sorry. Really sorry. I didn't know Sophia would send you so many vulgar messages. I didn't know she had been provoking you. It's all my fault. Come back. Let's have a good talk. I misunderstood you, thinking about how vicious those words were and how I had endured them silently. John was heartbroken. After all, I had occupied more than a third of his life. Ivy, I love you. I just couldn't resist Sophia's temptation for a moment and made a mistake that all men might make. I felt like I was under a spell. I shouldn't have treated you like that. I was wrong. Ivy, come back. Let's have a good talk and forget all the unpleasant things in the past. Okay. He looked so affectionate, but I wanted to shake off his hold like getting rid of a dogskin plaster. Unfortunately, There was a big difference in strength between men and women. There's nothing to talk about. What messages she sent doesn't change the fact that I don't love you anymore. Seeing me like a little deer caught in a trap, Michael Taylor happened to show up. He crossed his arms and said, "If you don't let go, I'll call the media over." John glanced at Michael. "It's you again. Who do you think you are?" After breaking free from John, the first grabbed Michael and said, "He's my current boyfriend." Michael seemed a little blushed. John's eyes were as cold as ice. I didn't care about that. Before the reporters swarmed over, I pulled Michael and ran away, finally getting rid of John. The first gasped for breath and fanned myself with my hand. "Mr. Taylor, I'm really sorry. I've got so many messy things and used you as a shield." Michael looked down at me and smiled gently. "It's okay. You've watched my channel. I've had experiences that are 10,000 times worse than yours." "Do you mean that experience in the primitive tribe where 8 women fought for one man?" We both burst into laughter again. After the divorce, did I seem to be smiling more and more? After the wedding incident, John went home. Due to Sophia's double-faced behavior, John started to investigate my actions during this period. His assistant sent him a surveillance video from the villa entrance, which broke his heart. "No need. Don't tell the sir a single word." In the video, I was dragging my suitcase alone and leaving resolutely. I didn't even give him an explanation. He asked the butler to find out what had happened. The butler said, "Miss Ivy burned all the memories between you two in the yard. She didn't let me tell you this." He was stunned. When he came to my room, it was so empty. All my things in the room were gone. Only the bedding was left and hadn't been replaced. He lay on my bed and saw the slightly yellowish stain on the pillow. Clearly a tear stain. He didn't know how long I had cried secretly at night. He stroked the pillow, and his heart ached. He suddenly started hitting his own face, pulling his own hair in the room. He punched the dressing mirror at the head of the bed. In the broken glass, the man's bloodshot eyes were visible. Ignoring the blood on the back of his hand, he kept mumbling, "I'm a jerk. Ivy, I'm really a jerk." Hearing John going crazy in the room, Sophia came up to ask. John became even more irritable when he heard her voice and threw everything he could grab on the bedside table at her. Sophia got angry. "Husband, I did something wrong. But it's all because I love you. Even if you're angry, for the child's sake, can you forgive me?" She brought over the child, tears welling up. The child cried out in fright. John Wilson calmed down a bit, looking at the child's adorable cheeks. I remembered how much ID suffered through IVF treatments, and my heart ached again, thinking of that Michael beside me. He suddenly felt uneasy. Late at night, he ran to my hotel room door, pounding on it. "Ivy Smith, please, open the door. I was wrong. Terribly wrong. I shouldn't have hit you for Sophia Brown. I shouldn't have forgotten my vows to love you for her sake. Please give me another chance." I told him to leave, but he refused. We were at a stalemate for over half an hour. With no choice, I called the police, and they persuaded him to leave. To avoid further harassment, I bought a ticket overnight and left the country. Abroad, I blocked all news from High City and focused on building my career. My personal channel saw exponential growth in followers within just 6 months. Many famous attractions sought collaborations, offering substantial pay just for me to appear in a 30-second video. Of course, living overseas long-term inevitably brings homesickness. At first, I'd call Michael Taylor. As fellow Chinese, sharing dumplings could ease the longing. Over time, we became close friends who shared everything and also business partners. His videos often featured me. The comments section overflowed with praise, saying they can't get enough of the handsome guy and beautiful girl. As a content creator, appearing on camera risked revealing my location. And lately, I kept feeling like someone was following me. Sure enough, after a few times, I noticed a Rolls-Royce Phantom lingering nearby. One day, I walked right up and knocked on the window. The window rolled down. It was John. Head lost a lot of weight and looked scruffy with a beard. "Sorry. You found out anyway," he said hoarsely. He asked me cautiously, "Could you sit with me for a while?" I checked the time on my phone. "All right. Is 3 minutes enough?" In the cafe. From John's words, I learned Head kicked out Sophia, along with the child Shed had. I covered my mouth in shock. Did he know everything? He saw my expression and slumped, his eyelashes casting shadows on his face. "Ivy. It turns out I'm the reason we couldn't have children. I'm so sorry you endured all that suffering for me. It's true, after John and I married, we couldn't conceive for a year. I secretly got checked and found out that, aside from being a bit thin, my uterus was perfectly healthy. The problem was with John. His semen caused allergic reactions in women, making pregnancies likely to miscarry. To have a child together. I'd been struggling with IVF for years. News reports blamed my health. But that wasn't it. As for Sophia's child, during a blood transfusion for an illness, they discovered the blood type didn't match John's. By then, He'd grown suspicious of Sophia and ordered an extra paternity test. When he got the result, his world collapsed. At that time, Sophia almost forced him to get married again with the child as leverage. In a fit of rage, he issued a ban, not allowing Sophia and that bastard to step into Haichang. 3 minutes passed quickly. Listening to his story, I felt all sorts of emotions. Tears welled up in his eyes. "Ivy, I really made a terrible mistake. I know it's hard for you to forgive me no matter what I say." He covered his head painfully and sobbed. After calming down a bit, he said again, "By the way, I didn't want you to abort the child at that time. The doctor said the child couldn't be saved. I thought it was better to end the pain quickly, so I directly asked the doctor to prepare for your surgery." My tears fell into the coffee cup, and my heart ached. Ached badly. John still wanted to say something to me when Michael suddenly walked in. "Ivy, are you done? It's time to go." I wiped away my tears and smiled at John. "Thank you for telling me this. I suddenly feel a bit more relieved. Let bygones be bygones. Don't dwell on it anymore. I'm going for a prenatal checkup. It's getting late. I'm afraid the doctor will be off work." I gently stroked my belly. A month ago, I had a travel wedding with Michael. Only 3 or 5 friends were there to pray with us on top of the snow-capped mountain. There was no grand occasion. The travel photos of the wedding should be available for viewing and officially made public in a few days. Half a month ago, I found I missed my period. The doctor said the baby was about a month old. I got up with a smile and said goodbye to John. His expression changed from hopeful to broken and dejected, but he quickly adjusted his expression and reached out his hand to shake mine. "Ivy, I wish you happiness. My life has indeed become brighter and more colorful, but there's still a knot in my heart that hasn't been untied." That's what Sophia said. "I should have had you killed in the car accident too." These days, I've mobilized all the resources around me to investigate the car accident case from that year. But because it's been a long time, and Sophia's words were just empty talk, maybe it was a misinterpretation. For a long time, there's been no progress in the matter. In a blink of an eye, the baby in my belly was 6 or 7 months old. I put this matter aside for a while. One day, I felt heavy-bodied and my chest was stuffy. I told Michael I wanted to take a walk downstairs. Pregnant women should exercise more. And he agreed. The community I live in is quite safe. Usually, I don't go out of the neighborhood. But the fruits at the street stalls across the neighborhood are very fresh, with a strong fragrance. I thought of buying some back. Just as I was picking fruits, the crowd exclaimed. A car rushed towards the crowd like a madman. It knocked over many stalls. The fruits were scattered all over the ground. I stood there, stunned. For a moment, I thought I was going to die. But in the critical moment, a Rolls-Royce Phantom came from the side and blocked the car that was rushing towards me. Bang! The 2 cars collided with a loud noise, and there was a huge fire in an instant. I came to my senses and saw clearly that the person sitting in the Rolls-Royce Phantom was John. I rushed up like a madwoman. The car door was deformed. John was covered in blood, squeezed in the car, unconscious and in critical condition. I trembled as I dialed the emergency number. At this time, Sophia rushed out from somewhere. Her face was ferocious. Her eyes were wild. And she held a sharp knife and stabbed at me. Bitch. John abandoned me because of you. If I can't have him, you won't either. The first knife grazed my face. At the second strike, a tall figure stepped between us. Michael Taylor unceremoniously delivered a chop to Sophia Brown, knocking her out. Then he quickly kicked the weapon away with his foot. Sirens blared, and Sophia was arrested. John Wilson was rushed to the hospital. During the rescue operation, it was discovered that a 1-year-old child was sitting in the passenger seat of Sophia's car. Unfortunately, the impact was too severe, and the child could not be saved, dying on the spot. I was terrified and went into premature labor. Fortunately, there was no collision, and the baby was under 24-hour observation in an incubator, with everything relatively stable, in the same hospital. As my condition improved, I went to the inpatient ward to visit John. He had suffered such a severe impact that he became vegetative, covered in tubes. He survived on tube feeding. After Sophia was arrested, more was uncovered, and through interrogation, it was confirmed that the car accident that killed my biological parents 4 years ago was indeed orchestrated by her. Her motive was her unwillingness to return to rural life. And she transferred all her hatred to my parents and me. She found an opportunity to secretly block the exhaust pipe of my parents' car, causing the highway accident, while hanging out aimlessly in society. She got pregnant unexpectedly. She saw in the news that I had married John Wilson and was living the life of a wealthy socialite. Green with envy, she used every means to get close to John Wilson. John Wilson fell under her spell, nearly driven mad. Of course, the child was naturally claimed to be his. Step by step, this destroyed my marriage. It also ruined her and caused great harm to John Wilson. She was sentenced to death. I asked the police why John Wilson was at the scene that day. The police told me that from John's communication devices, they found numerous messages of Sophia insulting and threatening him. Mr. Wilson might have been patrolling around your life to protect you. I was stunned. His condition was very poor, and doctors suggested discontinuing life support for his low-quality existence. In the end, we sent him to Switzerland. His will had long been prepared. He left all the inheritance of the Wilson family to me, his ex-wife. I chose to donate his wealth to support the living, medical, and educational needs of girls in impoverished areas, hoping that similar tragedies will not repeat. Michael and I left the hospital with the baby, who is lively and healthy. All the past events faded like clouds on the horizon, carried away by the wind.